dBs started in 1998. It was two chaps, RMDs, who started a studio down in Plymouth, a commercial facility, and then they just slowly started to use it as education courses and really aimed to change the way that music technology was taught. We opened centres in Cornwall, we opened centres here in Bristol, 2 centres here in Bristol. We have one in Berlin. This facility alone has so many studios in it and so much access, with this being the icing on the cake really, the API room. When you take people on tours around the building, there's nothing better than opening this door and them going, oh right, okay, wow, you've got an API. And it really does make a difference. It's been a real side benefit, has people Instagramming from here and tweeting from here because they're sat in front of this. They maybe wouldn't do that if it was just a keyboard controller and an iMac.
I'm Chris Littlewood. I'm a lecturer on the Music Production Sound Engineering course here in Bristol. One of the most important things for us here at dBs is to provide the students with something unique, and part of the reason also for the API console was the fact that we are the only educational facility in the UK with one of these, which is a great bonus. It's a great thing for the students to get access to. And the configuration that we have could be sort of known as the standard configuration. Basically, we have 12 of the 558 EQs, which is a 3-band semi-parametric adaptive EQ. So the Q of the EQ actually changes depending on how much gain that you're applying or cutting. And in the top 4 slots, we've got the classic 560 graphic EQ, which is sort of at octave bands. The rest of the console is just the standard configuration, so it's modular, which is obviously useful. If in the circumstances that a channel goes down, you can easily take it out, swap it out without the whole console being out of action, basically, which is obviously a good bonus. Then I guess the other feature, the non-standard feature that this console in particular has, is the automation controller. And obviously this allows communication between Pro Tools and the desk itself. So what you can see is on Pro Tools you've got banks of 8 sort of highlighted with the coloured boxes around there, and they're basically linked up to each of these faders. So when we move those faders, they're synced up, and in this way we can build up a mix inside the box. We're also the only facility in the UK that actually has the automation controller, and that's not just education, that's in the whole country, in all the studios, which again is a great feature because it allows our students to get access to something that actually nobody else in the country even has access to, which is a great thing. The fact that you have the automation recall and things like that allows you to use it for mix downs as well. You can recall all your fader settings and things like that, and then you have access to this amazing EQ that's on there. As well as the fact that it allows you to recall, the way I've been using it a lot recently is it allows you to control much bigger mixes than a 16-channel mix very, very easily just with the desk, and that tactile feeling of faders is much, much, much easier. It's much nicer to use when you're doing balances, and the students like this as well. They really enjoy the fact that they can set up their mix, and everybody loves moving faders. Some of our electronic students love to use the desk for the mixing because you don't usually get access to outboard summing. You don't get access to outboard EQ, outboard effects and things like that, and a lot of the electronic guys, they really sort of embrace that idea that they can start to get a little bit more hands-on, and so this just sort of adds to that. It just adds to that idea of bringing things out of the box, making it less closed, giving it a more open sound, getting some of that analog EQ feel and sound onto those sort of what can be described as sometimes cold sort of digital tracks, and it really helps to add something that they just can't get from digital summing. With a console like this, there's so much to it, although it seems like it's a very straightforward layout, and it is in some ways. If you just want to record, it's very straightforward. You've got amazing quality pre's, you get the signal straight in, you get it back out again into the door, everything's there, and it's really straightforward. So there's a very straightforward signal path, but there's also a more complex path that you can take with things, using the groups to route things out. We're toying with the idea at the moment of sort of coupling it with an 8-track tape machine and using the buses to run out hooked to that, so we can sort of track to tape. I think this would sound amazing with a tape machine coupled to it, you know, and for tracking drums or something like that would sound amazing. I guess if I had to sum up what API means to us at dBs, it would be the ease of use of the console itself, the quality of the preamps and the summing of the desk, and the exclusivity that we have by having this console at the facility.